afternoon on this nice Friday afternoon. It's a little chilly here in the A, overcast. So figured pull out a little bourbon while we're doing this show. Some Eagle Rare, really cool blend. It's a really nice smooth bourbon. We're gonna pull that out, pour it over a couple of square ice cubes, and we're gonna kind of get the show started. And as usual, my partner in crime here, Solomon, is here with me, sitting down, kicking it.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
And we, some time ago, I'd asked a friend of mine to send me some topics to kind of survey some of her friends and to see if there were some things that women wanted to know about, or female friends, male friends. It really didn't matter, but we just asked her to survey some friends, and she came up with a couple of questions from some people. And first question she sent as a topic was, can women really raise men without the presence of a father? And someone else said, hey, poly relationships, is it about building families and communities, or a big group of freaks? And that was pretty, it's a funny one. And then another subject was black men taking health serious. There are lots of groups of women, talking about dieting and exercising and taking care of themselves. And, one of the women wanted to know, hey, where the fellas at, in terms of doing this. Another one was, a man, one of her, I guess her male friends kind of wrote a question and said, hey, I'm married with 3 kids, 8, 13, and 15, and I want a divorce, but I don't want my wife to be a single mom and leave my kids. Should I stay until the kids leave home? We're going to come back to that one. And the last one that we received was someone kind of wrote in and said, hey, I'm married and my wife wants a threesome with another woman. What are the rules?
Wow.
Man, the rules. There are none. But just kidding. But the one that we kind of want to go back to is, the brother that wrote in that said he was married with 3 kids and, he wants a divorce. First of all, it's probably would need a little more information on the subject as to why he wants a divorce. Because that I think has a lot to do with, our feedback, but just simply based on him asking, do I stay until the kids leave home? And that's a huge question that I think that's a dilemma that a lot of people face. People question whether, do I ride it out? There are kids involved. And in all fairness, the children, at the end of the day, I don't care what kind of squabbles and fights and disagreements that adults have. At the end of the day, it's all about the child or the children.
100%.
They didn't ask to be here. It was a decision made by 2 adults. So the children should not suffer if 2 adults can't get along. People split up and go separate ways. It happens all the time. But I think, the question was, he says, I don't want my wife to be a single mom and I don't want to leave my kids, but I want a divorce. I think the 3 of those, they don't really mesh together.
Yeah.
Are you just sick of being married?
That's a good question.
Is your wife cheating? Have you cheated and that's why you want to leave? At the end of the day, so many people sacrifice their own happiness and they stay in relationships. And this part really has nothing to do with children. There are a lot of people that actually stay in relationships in which they are not happy. The relationship is not fulfilling nor satisfying, but they stay in it because they feel like they've already invested a lot of time. I don't want to feel like I wasted time, so I'm just going to hang in here and ride it out. Well, you're riding it out, you're still wasting time, because whatever time after you've made that decision, it's that amount of time is still a waste as well. But it also, for when you have children involved, how involved are you with your children? People can have a divorce, and you can still, especially speaking as a father, you can still be a father. But this is where the parents have to be on the same page. You cannot be, and this is just my opinion only, when there's a divorce and then that decree is created, and then there is a final sign off, I think the piece that should not really be in there is the fact that most of the time, unless it's joint custody, a father gets, every other weekend, or, being typically Thursday through Monday. But in my experience, that there was no limit. There was no time frame in which I could see my child. I think that, you not only hurt the parent here, but I think you also hurt the children. You have to be able to see your children, to me, whenever you want to see your children, as long as it's convenient for both adults, not where you're running, playing these games at the last minute. Hey, I want to see, I want my kid to stay with me this weekend, or, oh no, you're going to pick them up. And then all of a sudden she changed her mind and says, oh, well, I changed my mind. I'm going to, they're going to stay with their aunt this weekend, or whatever. But, for the gentleman that asked that question, do you stay until the children are out the house? Based on their ages, the youngest one I think was 5. You're still talking basically another 13 years of unhappiness that you want to endure. And the flip side of that is, your wife may want a divorce, and you don't even realize she wants a divorce.
Wow.
She may want you out too.
Very good point.
Have you guys done counseling? That's a question. Is this a decision strictly based on emotion? How long have you been feeling this way? Is it something that you've only been feeling like this a few weeks, few months, or have you been like this for years? That has a lot to do with you being able to make that decision. But whatever decision you make, that is a very tough decision. I don't think anybody can advise you, really tell you what to do in this case. Exactly how much you'll miss your children. When you're with somebody and you see somebody every day, assuming you do see your children and your wife every single day, that's a huge adjustment, to not be able to see your children every single day. And not just for you, but the bigger part of it is it's the adjustment for them. They don't see their father every day. And a lot of times, what tends to happen when there's a divorce, especially multiple children, you get children acting out.
Yes.
Because they don't know how to cope, deal, and handle what they're experiencing. They don't know how to deal with it emotionally, physically. It can wreak havoc. Then all of a sudden you see attitudes change. You see grades drop. You see their personalities change. That's a lot. That's a lot for a young child to go through. I think it's probably something that you and your wife really need to sit down and discuss. First of all, why you feel this way. There may be just a pure lack of communication here that could solve the problems that stem to your feelings.
That's a good point.
But yeah, that's and I guess I chose that one to talk about. But at the end of the day, I think we need more information on that, in order to be able to kind of assess and even to get feedback from listeners as well, because I think one of the things that the listeners would want to know as well is, well, why do you want a divorce? How long have you all been married? Are all 3 children your children? Are 2 of them yours? One was from a previous relationship. There's
point.
some other pieces to the puzzle that need to be placed before we can kind of get enough of the big picture to give you feedback on that. But Solomon, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Most definitely. One big thing that comes to my mind is that when you are in a relationship and kids are involved, one big thing is you're just like how being a parent is a full-time job. Teaching is also a full-time job when it comes to teaching your kids, because the thing is, a lot of people may or may not think about it, but just because you're not, you might not be directly teaching them how to read or write or answering their questions. You're teaching them when you're not talking to them. It's just they're learning nonverbal things. The image that you present when you're around them, anytime you're within eyesight of your children, you're teaching them. The way that you move is teaching them. The things that you do is teaching them. And when they get older, that's it's almost like a blueprint that they take. And when they get into the world and they get older and get out of the house, part of what they go off of is what you teach them, whether it's directly or indirectly. And it's a definitely it's the context isn't all the way there. But as far as the teaching goes, sometimes you want to show them, I'd say overall, the most important thing when it comes to the kids is to show them the best, as positive as an image as possible. And unfortunately, whether that be inside the home or outside the home, it could be a situation where you do decide to separate and you guys are living in different homes. But at the same time, just because you might not be in the house, you might not see them every day. When you do see them, you can still put on a positive attitude. You can put a smile on your face. So they'll see a positive image, and it teaches them that, okay, well, maybe, 2-parent households, even though they may have started off in a 2-parent household and they're no longer in that situation, it's not as bad as it comes off, because the way that I'd say the nonverbal teaching is just important as the direct teaching. And if you can just show them as positive as an image of an image as possible, and be genuine about it, because they definitely can tell when something's genuine and something's not, then that'll give them a positive image and a realistic view on life and relationships. Because a lot of times when I hear people who are older, I get mixed feedback, and they say, well, I grew up in a 2-parent household, and I can't wait to get married, or I can't wait to get in a relationship because, we always had fun. We did things. Mom and dad, they were always smiling. They barely argued. And then I talk to other people, and it's like, I have no interest in doing any of the sort. I'm just out here, being a bachelor, living my life, whatever the case may be, because at the same time, it might not be a situation where they separated. It could be a situation where, somebody was suffering, or both parties were suffering, and they decided to stay for the sake of the kids, and they thought that they were doing the right thing, which in theory is definitely understandable. It's just, even though you intended to do the right thing, it gave off the wrong image. And if you all were, always fighting or in a bad mood or whatever the case, then it's like, man, shoot, I couldn't wait until I started driving just so I wouldn't be around the energy. And it's definitely one of those tricky situations. And I definitely agree with Steve that context is needed, because you never know. There's, just like anything, there's sometimes a reason to leave is justified and sometimes it's not. Because like Steve said earlier, considering leaving over something that's simple. It could be something simple as communication, something that a couple of counseling sessions can fix. Then, don't throw away an entire cake just because you're missing a piece of it.
Yeah.
So, I think that's definitely something to think about and consider. And, like Steve said earlier, what are the circumstances behind it? And, you definitely want to have the conversation, because, your partner could be feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
And you two are just silent about it, and you're walking on eggshells with each other, and it's not getting anywhere. It's like ignoring, a spark. A bad spark, and that it's there, but you just ignore it. And the next thing you know, time goes by, emotions build over, and then by the time you even think about it, the whole house is on fire.
That's a really good point.
So,
well, you also keep in mind, however, if you stay only for the sake of the kids, until that last kid is out, you will be there living in resentment.
Yes.
You're gonna resent that person that you're staying with. You're gonna get angry at yourself for staying, feeling as if you've wasted all of this time, all for the sake of staying because of the kids. And again, at the end of the day, it's the children that matter the most.
Absolutely.
We have to put our differences aside sometimes. But at the same time, if you do decide to go your separate ways, you sell it as if, hey, guess what? You guys now have 2 playgrounds. You have 2 of everything. I like
that.
This is you have 2 places to have fun now, and you come to mommy's, you go to daddy's, you come, and when you're able to put a spin on it, sometimes, even though does that ever really cure whatever feelings the children may have completely? No, but maybe it takes a little bit of the pain off of it, or away, when you give it a different spin. You have to, let the children know, and this is also where the parents have to be. You have to be on the same page. If you decide to go your separate way, you can't have one set of rules for your children.
Oh yeah.
Good
point.
Half of the month, and then the other half of the month when they're with their mom, she has a different set of rules. You guys have to establish common ground between the 2 of you and how you are going to raise those children, and be consistent with it. Not where, oh, well, mommy said no. Well, when we go to daddy's, we're going to ask him and he's going to say yes. Even if you want to say yes, and you guys have agreed that we're going to support one another in the decisions that we make as it relates to our children, you're going to have to side with that other adult. So, that's one of the things, I noticed that friends that I have who have divorced, that's one of the issues that they have. It's the discipline side, because one parent disciplines one way and the other disciplines another way. And then sometimes that kind of creates friction with the children, because, it seems like they love the parent the most that lets them get away with the most. But who's really benefiting in this situation? It's not the children. You're hurting the children. in this case. Again, you got to show them consistency.
Yes.
Rules are rules. You follow the rules. We have the same rules. Don't think that you're going to be getting away with something here and not getting away with it over there. It just doesn't work that way, you know, and whatever, you know, the gentleman decides, you know, hopefully he'll reach out and give us some more information, so we can kind of really elaborate on this situation. We just didn't have enough info from your original input. But if you could, you know, reach back out to us, gentlemensdialogue@gmail.com. Let us know, you know, give us more information. Actually, and give us an update. Because I received this, you know, this question actually came to us prior to us actually starting the format. So it's been, I know, at least 7 or 8 months, if not longer, when we got the question. So, you know, hey, give us an update, and let us know where you are in your journey. You know, where the wife is, where the children are. You guys still together? Did you get it worked out? Hey, you know, let us know, man. Look, you know, we want to, you know, kind of, again, we want to be an avenue, you know, for some people who just want to get stuff off their chest. You know, again, we're not licensed psychiatrists, psychologists, or, you know, any other clinical, nothing clinical. We just, hey man, just a couple of brothers who are living life every day to the fullest, and hoping that, you know, while, you know, we can, you know, maybe help other people, because what, you can help us too. You know, we're all, every day you learn. You know, every single day of your life, you can learn. But you know, I have a friend that when we mentioned one of these subjects here, was talking about the poly relationships, and that's probably something that I think we're gonna dive into that probably on one of the next couple of episodes. I'm gonna have a individual in who will freely talk about it in terms of. I guess open relationships, however you want to term it, you know, and everybody has their own opinion about that. But, you know, I'm still, you know, not into the mindset of, you know, me sitting back watching a football game, waiting on my wife while she getting drilled somewhere to come home and smile in my face and cook dinner. Yeah, it ain't making sense to me, but we'll talk about that. We'll get into details. And, you know, again, hey, we want everybody to be happy, be safe. You got your holidays coming up. You know, not everybody enjoys the holidays, because the holidays sometimes are you know, they're happy times for some, but for others they're sad. You know, you may be alone. You may not have family around, and you know, hey, if you in the Atlanta area and you just need to reach out to people, hey, reach out to us. You know, we'll see if we can link you up with some good people where you can go have fun, have a good time. Go bowling and go hang out and have dinner. Or go to some poetry readings. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the city of Atlanta. You know, that's non-club related. You know, you don't have to go to a club in Atlanta to go have a good time, have fun, and have good, you know, meet good people and good drinks and good food, good art. You know, I mean, there's stuff all over the city of Atlanta to do. So yeah, hit us up. Again, hey, anybody have any issues? If you just want to get something off your chest, if you feel like you're in a bad place, hey, reach out to us. Maybe we can point you in the direction of someone or an organization that can help get you in a better place. Being in a dark place is not a good place. We want you to, we want to shed light, and we want you in the light. So hey, you know, for another episode that we're gonna wrap up here. My dude Solomon.
Yes, sir.
You know, and at some point in time, I'm gonna drop some music, you guys, that y'all can hear this. How this dude, this is a true lyricist. And we're gonna, you know, we'll eventually discuss the music industry and the music and the business itself. And I'm sure during that time we'll be dropping some of Solo's stuff, so you can hear what a lyrical flow really sounds like. It's not mumble, it ain't jumble, it is flow. So hey, until the next episode, Solo, thank you for being here, bro. Appreciate you as always, man. And until the next episode, peace.